let's discuss about the strengths of acids and bases. The strengths of acids and bases can be measured by the degree of ionization. Remember that when an acid or a base reacts with water, they form ions, right? So for example, when HCl reacts with water, it forms hydronium and then chlorine ions. On the other hand, when ammonia reacts with water, it forms ammonium and then hydroxide ions. So again, from neutral substances, they form charged particles. And again, we call these charged particles as ions. And again, we call this process as ionization. In terms of the degree of ionization, we can describe it as either complete or either partial. So it's complete when there's a 100% ionization, then it's partial when it's less than 100%. So it's complete when all of the given amount of our acid or base have completely reacted with water to form our ions on this case. So if there's a complete ionization, that is, all the given amount of our base or acid have completely reacted or have completely ionized, that is a strong acid or a strong base. And if it's partial ionization, it comes from a weak acid and a weak base. Let's emphasize this one using the following examples. Here we have hydrochloric acid reacting with water to form hydronium and then chlorine ions. Let's say we have 2 molar of hydrochloric acid and it reacts with water, and from this reaction it produces 2 molar of hydronium ion. This means that this 2 molar of HCl have completely reacted with water, forming 2 molar of hydronium ion. This one is a strong acid. A strong acid reacts completely with water to form hydronium ion. Again, it's complete when it's 100%. So, diba, from 2 molar, it produces 2 molar of hydronium ion. So, it's 100% ionization. And again, this one is a strong acid. Let's consider another acid. This one is acetic acid. This is found in your vinegar. Let's say we have 2 molar of acetic acid. It reacted with water, and let's say this produced only about 0.0060 molar of hydronium ion. So this means that only a partial amount of our given amount of acids have reacted completely with water. This one is a weak acid. So it's a weak acid when it reacts partially with water to form hydronium ions. So as you see, about less than 1%. So about less than 1% of our given substance have reacted with water. So again, that's the difference between a strong acid and then a weak acid. If there's a complete reaction with water, that one is a strong acid. If it's less than 100%, if it's partial, that one is a weak acid. The same is true for this base. So for bases, here we have ammonia reacting with water to form ammonium and then hydroxide. Let's say we have 2 molar of of ammonia, and this produce, let's say, about 0.18 molar of, okay, sorry. Let's focus on the hydroxide because this is the indicator for our base here. Let's say it only produce about 0.18 molar. So obviously this one is less than 100%, right? Because it's only a part of the 2 molar given of our base. So this one is a weak base. The same thing, a weak base, it reacts partially with water to form hydroxide ions. So only a small part of our ammonia have reacted with water, that it produces only a small amount of hydroxide ions. So again, this one is a weak base. On the other hand, we have this one, sodium hydroxide. Let's say we have 2 molar of sodium hydroxide, and from this reaction with water, it formed 2 molar of hydroxide ion. So it's obvious that there's a 100% ionization. All of this 2 molar of sodium hydroxide have reacted with water and it formed 2 molar of our products. So this one is a strong base. A strong base, it reacts completely with water to form hydroxide ions. Again, completely means 100% of our sodium hydroxide have reacted to form our ions, including our hydroxide ions. As a review, let's answer this one. It reacts completely with water to form hydronium ions. So of course, hydronium, that one is an acid, right? Because an acid, they increase the concentration of hydronium ion. Then here we have completely reacts. So this one is, of course, a strong acid. Number two, it reacts completely with water to form hydroxide ions. Of course, for the hydroxide ions, their concentration is increased by the bases, right? Then here we have completely reacting with water, so this one is a strong base. Number three, it reacts partially with water to form hydronium ions. Again, hydronium ions that is associated with an acid. Then here partially, so partial, that is a weak acid. Number four, it reacts partially with water to form hydroxide ions. And again, hydroxide ions are produced by bases. Then here we have partially, so this one is a weak base.